Sup, dog? Xbox is closing its studios. When I grab my cup of coffee in the morning and I start drinking it, I usually check the news and see what's going on in the world. And there's a lot of shit that's going on in the world. What's probably happening in your world is usually gaming. Years ago, we used to just have three powerhouses, which was Nintendo, PlayStation, and the Xbox. They just ruled the land with their consoles. But as time goes, people realize that PC is kind of better. Who figured, right? And why is PC better? Because you have platforms like Steam where anybody can make a game and post it, and they don't have to work with any other person but themselves. Literally two people in a garage can make a game. Hell, even one person could just make a game in their garage. A lot of games became successful that way. Undertale, Vampire Survivors, and now the big studios, the big powerhouses are kind of figuring how can they stay alive. The easy way is just to make better games, what they used to do, or just be a better AAA studio. I think people did not realize how much of a scummy swamp gaming was until 2020 happened with COVID and everybody got indoors to realize, oh yeah, there's a lot of garbage. I could go down the rabbit hole of the DEI and the Sweet Baby Inc. and how that's tied to the European government and other people. And they're working with AI and aliens to try to poison the minds of Americans. I could go through all those rabbit holes with you. But the most important rabbit hole is they're making shit. And remember when people used to make cool shit? Well, not Xbox. Xbox hasn't been making any cool shit since Xbox Live days. When you see Xbox, what do you see? Everybody has a different perspective or window to what they perceive. When I see Xbox, I think of Call of Duty, Xbox Live, where where anybody in the whole world will call you the N-word. Those were fun days, dog. I gotta tell you that shit. But for Xbox games, I thought of Halo. Halo is the number one that came up to my head. I would think Halo, Gears of War, DOA, Beach Volleyball. Those are the games that pop up when I think of Xbox. Now you have to ask yourself, what was a really good Halo game? And I don't mean like, slop Halo, where they just took whatever worked and then just gave you some little gimmick like a grappling hook and maybe an open world map to give you the illusion that there's something good about it. Halo, for me, when it first came out and when the original people were working on it, it was a grandiose adventure. You were just one super soldier man with the symbolism of heavenly divine. You have Halo, the Covenant, the Flood. Seems very biblical to me, very grandiose. And you're just being a badass trying to save the world. That was amazing. And honestly, the first game, the second game, and the last game, in my opinion, the third game, Halo 3, that was a sign of perfection. And then they had other games that came out, which it still had the model of the team deathmatch, but like the story was kind of like garbage. I remember Halo 4, it was like they did that anime trope where they fought like that robot psychic dude, whatever. And he was like, I could kill you with my telekinesis, Mr. John Halo. But you know what? Not today. And he throws him in the corner. I'm like, so plot armor. He has plot armor. Why would you write a character that could easily kill, Mr. John Halo himself, and you didn't do it? It just seems like bad writing. Or if you give him in that predicament, what could John Halo do to stop the telekinesis death grip? Well, the thing is, they just hired millennial writers that couldn't do the job. And all the grandiose, all the biblical references, all the epicness of that game kind of died. I remember Halo 1, 2, and 3 vividly and how awesome it was and how great the story was. I couldn't tell you any cool part of Halo 4. I just remembered the anime things pissed me off. What I'm trying to get at is they lost the sauce. They lost what made people liked Halo in the first place. Or they forgot what made Xbox the powerhouse that it was. Now, fast forward, all these studios are shutting down. They're shutting down for a reason because no one wants to play this shit. And the people who do play it, they're just trying to play for a little nostalgia feeling of what they once had years ago. But I gotta tell you, that shit was dead years ago. And right here, I just Googled Xbox shutting down studios, and the AI said, Xbox is undergoing a massive restructuring under new leadership, with several studios facing potential closure and shutdown. Key developers like Ninja Theory, Hellblade, Well, first of all, who the fuck cares about Hellblade? Ninja Gaiden is Team Ninja for me, dog. Compulsion Games, South of Midnight. Is that the game where you go in the bayou and you do stuff with alligators? I don't remember. I've never heard of the Compulsion Games. I've never played it. Who the fuck cares? And Double Fine are reportedly in active negotiation with Microsoft to avoid being shuttered or spun off. Double Fine is a company I do know. That's the company that done Psychonauts and Brutal Legend. I really like Brutal Legend. It was basically anything that was like metal and hard rock. It was like this weird like RTS Dynasty Warriors type of game. It was actually really fun. I really enjoyed that game. I that was one of the games where I got all the achievements, all the music, and Easter eggs, and it was awesome. Plus, it had Ozzy Osbourne in there voicing himself. It was like cool. And then you also had like the guy from Motorhead voicing too. It was just cool. They just had all the cool like metalheads voicing themselves, and I liked it. The only company that I would say give it one more chance of like redemption is Double Fine. So then you gotta ask yourself, like, what was the last game of Ninja Theory? Okay, I quickly Wikipedia Ninja Theory just to get a list of what they made. All right, for the last few years, Kung Fu Chaos, Heavenly Sword, Enslaved, DMC, Devil May Cry. Is that the one that's emo? Yeah. I liked the look of the game. The gameplay was garbage. Fight Back, Disney Infinity, Marvel Heroes, DMC, Definitive Edition, Dex, Hellblade, Suana's. Oh, this game. That game was trash. I remember Hellblade. Now that I remember Hellblade, that's a stupid ass game. Nicodemus, Demon of in Vanishment, Hellblade VR, a Star Wars VR series, Bleeding Edge, Hellblade 2, and Suana in 2027. That shit ain't gonna make. Okay, I thought Team Ninja was the one that did Ninja Gaiden and DOA Beach Volleyball with the big titty girls. This is none of that shit. The only games that I remember was DMC, and it failed. Nobody liked this one. I liked it because it's like a cool, like emo, edgy, Dante was like, fuck you. And there's that industrialness about it. But like, I remember nobody liked the gameplay because it was basically red weapon only kills red things and blue weapon only kills blue things. And there's some enemies that go from red to blue. So it's like, you have all this infinite potential, but you're being restricted for the things you want to use. That is not Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry is basically, how can you make some cool looking combos? And the only rule is you can't spam the combo. So if you have like guns, you're shooting guns all over the place, you're not going to get a cool combo. But if you shoot guns a little bit, then switch to your sword, then switch to your nunchucks, then switch to your arm fist thing, then back to your guns, then it's cool. So basically, when these guys decided to make the game, they said, okay, you can have infinite shit, but only blue for blue and red for red. This is not the Matrix. You're not taking the fucking red pill and the blue pill, dog. So anyways, that game was trash, and then they moved on to Disney and Dex and this Hellblade game that nobody fucking played. So yeah, no wonder they fucking lost this. This thing lost the plot, dude. Even the philosophy in, if I scroll up for philosophy on Wikipedia, Ninja Theory's initial goal is to create a blockbuster title for major publishers. Why do you want to make a blockbuster title for major publishers? Just make a title and it will be a blockbuster if people buy it. So it could gain a place in the AAA gaming scene. Okay, cool. So you're just looking for the money. Got it. However, the team slowly realized that the publisher model was restraining developers' creative vision, making the games more conservative and risk averse. Yeah, you made the games not be risky. You got to have a little risk. Don't go so crazy for the risk, but just enough risk, enough edge to give it an identity. Hell, there was that one game that was called Hatred that everyone was like, oh, this is like a gross game because it's just mindless killing. There's no plot. It was just basically an edgelord who's like, fuck this day. I'm going to, hit. I'm just going to kill everybody. But you know what? People still remember that game. As edgy as it was, as amount of money that it barely made, people still remember that. Nobody remembered Dex or Hellblade, Suana's Sacrifice. Who the fuck is Suana and why would I care? Also, when you look at like trailers for games or anybody word of mouth, When someone's like, oh, you played Devil May Cry, and you look at like a trailer and you see Dante doing some cool shit, great. You ever seen a trailer for a Hellblade that got your pussy wet? No. So anyways, I thought Ninja Theory was the one that did Ninja Gaiden. So I guess, and maybe I'm just retarded. Maybe I just don't know which Ninja Theory it is. I just Googled it. Ninja Gaiden's called Team Ninja. Ninja Theory is just them thinking about being a ninja, but never actually making a ninja game. Got it. Well, you know what? Fuck Ninja Theory. I'm all about Team Ninja. I'm glad that studio's still safe. They're still making Ninja Gaiden. They're still making big titty girls beautiful. So yeah, basically the only company besides Ninja Theory, Compulsion, and Double Fine that I would say give it another shot is Double Fine. And if you YouTube Xbox shutting down studios, this is what you get. And it's not good. Xbox is shutting down studios and it's ugly. Xbox reportedly shut down at least 3 studios. Inside Games Daily. And then you have this girl's face smiling while these companies die. Xbox Bloodbath. New leak says Xbox Studios shut down. Xbox is shutting down studios who hired Anita Sarkeesian and Sweet Baby. Yeah, Anita Sarkeesian and Sweet Baby are fucking retarded. Xbox shuts down studios. Blade game is dead. What Blade game? Is it Blade games from regular show? Like what Blade game? Oh, Blade, the Wesley Snipes franchise. Dog, I'm a huge fan of Blade, Wesley Snipes variation. But it's unfortunate that the Blade game is dead, man. But they probably don't even know how to make Blade cool, dude. You want to know how to make Blade cool? Watch the Blade movies. He was badass. Do you want to know why we have all these fucking Marvel movies? It's because Blade was such a badass that during that time, people were saying superheroes suck. They're not cool. And that was just because a bunch of boomers didn't read the comics. When you read the comics, you're like, oh shit, this guy's crazy. He's just fucking killing vampires all day long. And then when Wesley Snipes became Blade, and he goes, and then he's just like cutting fools and he's like shooting them down. And you're like, dude, the Daywalker, dog. Wesley Snipes, Blade was amazing. The second movie was pretty fun. And then the third movie was just really, really bad, but in also a fun way, dude. There was like Triple H in that movie too. I'm a huge fan of the Blade movies. Very, very good. But we might not ever see the Blade game because it's done, dude. And then let's see the shorts. Xbox reportedly multiple studios. Xbox shutting down. They're banging Xbox not shut down. Xbox goes back to their old ways and shut down Ninja Theory. Moist critical. He says it doesn't make sense. Nobody cares, Moise. Your opinion sucks. Xbox Studio Crisis is getting ugly. Xbox Bloodbath has begun. It has begun. All the clickbait, all the thumbnails, all the bullshit, all the craziness. Yeah, woke getting fired. Making games is hard because you have to not only program a game, you have to actually make decent graphics or models. It doesn't have to be like AAA, facial recognition characters. Hell, again, just anything from Steam, Vampire Survivors. It's a pixeled game with a fun mechanic, and it worked. Lots of people played that game, like Megabonk or Balartro or whatever have you. Those are just a few examples of just making a game and succeeding. So it's hard, but it's also easy. So there you have it. All these studios are shutting down, and Xbox is resetting. I think it's good. Xbox needs a reset. They really just need to cut the things that aren't working and just focus on what used to be. Xbox used to be cool. It used to be edgy. It used to be fun. When you're making a video game, what are you doing? Are you trying to sell an idea? No, you're not Hideo Kojima. You're not doing Metal Gear Solid. I'll give you the recipe of making a game. The first and most important rule of making a game is the game. John Carmack, I think that's his name, the guy who helped create Doom, he said story in a game is like story in a porn. You're not there for the story, but you expect a little bit. And dude, he's kind of right. So like every time you play Doom, okay, it's a game where you shoot demons. Is there a story? Yeah, there's some Doom guy on Mars. You kind of care, but like you're not fully into, John Doom, right? You're there to be a badass killing demons. And that mantra, that theory, that rule of making games is very true. When you play Vampire Survivors, you really want to know the lore of the main character who meets all these other characters and just doing a bullet hell and their families and their friends and their businesses. And when was this guy was born? And what happened 100 years ago? Was there a prequel? Was there a sequel? Was there a remake of this? No. You just want to pick a character, pick a class, have some vague thing of you're like a vampire destroyer or a survivor, and you just go out there and play. So the number one thing is focus on the game, the gameplay. Why are you there? Is it a first-person shooter? Is it a fighting game? Is it a puzzle game? Once you know that, you're almost done. And the second part about making a game is it fun or engaging? You have to make it either fun or engaging. Think about any of the games that you enjoy. Were they fun? Probably, because you kept playing them. Were they engaging? Some of them were. Some of them were way too engaging. You ever played StarCraft against a Korean player? That shit's really engaging. You have to be engaged. If you're not, you're dead. Those guys are masters at that fucking game, dog. But then there's other games that aren't that engaging, but they're still fun. It's easy to just make a fun and engaging game. The rest is just creative liberties. If you want to make a game that's like super, super gay, go, as long as it's fun and engaging, go ahead. If you want to make a game, Super Chud 2 Remix, the chudding continues, then go ahead, dude, as long as it's fun and engaging. Most of the games on Steam that I see, they are successful if they're funny or there's a lot to do in them. There's that game, it was like, what, Grandpa Got High or some shit, and you just play an old man who gets high, and it's like, okay, it's fun, it's engaging, it's there for a short time, not a long time. Like, I don't think I'm going to be playing that game years from now. The only people that would be playing those games years from now if they want to do a speed run, if they really enjoyed the game and they want to, you know, be better at it. But those are the only two ingredients you need. That's it. You don't need to hire a studio to be like, hey, should we have more diversity in this game? I don't know. Is it fun and engaging? You stupid fucking retard. You don't need to go to another executive and be like, should we include China in this so we can get into the Chinese market? I don't know. Is it fun and engaging? Because if it is, even the Chinese will play it. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about it again. You know, Xbox shutting down studios. It might be sad if you were fans of these companies. I know I'm a fan of Double Fine. I like Brutal Legend. Psychonauts was kind of cool. But you know, if you're not making games that people actually want to play or buy, then you're just funneling a passion project, and that's fine, but you need to do it on your own accord. I'll give more respect for these studios who shut down to make their own smaller studio and just make something they want to make. And if they make it fun and engaging, I'll be right there to play that game and support them. But when other companies trying to, you know, look at demographics and hire outside consultants, they already lost the plot. I'm not going to play those games. I'm too old for that shit. Other than that, I hope everyone has an excellent day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.